Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Green Wisdom Forum Experience Sharing Session organized by Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. Today, we are here to explore the crucial topic of sustainable construction practices and learn from the wisdom of our esteemed panelists. I am Upeksha Virajini, General Manager of Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, and I will be moderating the session this evening. Before starting, I would like to guide you how you can engage with this interactive session. This session will revolve around 4 selected questions that was frequently asked by you audience. And due to the time constraint, we will allocate a separate time for the audience to talk with experts at the end of the 4th question. And however, you can ask questions throughout the session using the chat box. And let's move on to the session with the following quote. Yes, it's true. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. That's what Chief Seattle said. Even our simplest action today matters in shaping a greener economy and sustainable future for generations to come. So keeping that in mind, let's start with a powerful video that highlights the global issue of climate change and our responsibility to mitigating it through responsible actions. And this will help us understand the urgent needs for sustainable building practices. Okay. Yes. Remember, climate change is not just a natural phenomenon, but a man-made disaster on a global scale. So it's time to be the change and take action for a better, greener tomorrow. Together, we can make a difference. Because after all, we are tied by a common objective to leave the earth better than we found it. In this aspect, building a greener economy is a solution to combat climate change. It requires collective efforts from all stakeholders, including the construction industry, to adopt sustainable practices and to reduce our carbon footprint. So this Green Wisdom Forum aims to highlight the importance of sustainable construction practices and how they contribute to building a greener economy. Yes, as I mentioned before, every action we take, no matter how small, has an impact on the environment and climate. This Green Wisdom Forum will provide valuable insights on how even small action at individual and industry level can contribute to mitigating climate change. So us, the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, being the committed leadership in sustainability, is at the forefront of driving sustainable construction practices in Sri Lanka. This organization was formed before 13 years back with the collective efforts of different industry professionals. So we are an independent non-profit organization accelerating the uptakes of sustainable buildings. Together with World Green Building Council, the world's most influential local, regional, global action network, leading the sustainable transformation of the built environment. And we play a pivotal role in creating awareness, providing education, and fostering collaboration among industry professionals to collaboratively drive environmental, economic, and social impact within the built environment on a national, regional, and global scale. So this Green Wisdom Forum will enable you to clear any clarifications on the services obtained through the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. Okay, now let's meet our esteemed panelists today, who bring a wealth of experience and expertise in sustainable construction practices. They will share their insights and real-life examples with their success stories, providing us with valuable lessons on how we can all contribute to combating climate change and building a greener economy. So first, Engineer Mahendra Jayalath, and he is a senior energy efficiency consultant and an accredited green building professional specialist. And he has over 30 years of project management and training experience working on a wide range of tasks related to sustainable infrastructure development projects. And he has extensive developing country experience, primarily in Asia. He has also functioned as a sustainable energy specialist for many projects funded by World Bank, USAID, UNDP, and ADB. Engineer Mahendra is a lead accredited professional from US Green Building Council as well. And he is also an accredited professional of Green Building Council of Sri Lanka and also a member of the board of Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. Welcome here, sir. And then the next honorable panelist, Engineer Mahendra Silva, and his bachelor's, he completed his bachelor's BSc in engineering with honors in civil engineering from University of Moderator in 2002 and masters in structural engineering designs in 2008. And by profession, he is a structural engineer as well as a green consultant. And he was the first chairman of Alumni Association of Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. And currently he is the board member of Sri Lanka Standard Institution, Construction Industry Skills Council, and also a council member of Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. He is serving in industry consultative boards of KDU and also a member of the University of Vocational Technology. And Engineer Mahendra Silva is a fellow member of Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka and also an international professional engineer. He is also a principal engineer and the director of Synergo Consultants Private Limited. So there's no doubt we are with the two of the best green professionals in Sri Lanka. So welcome you, sir. Okay, without taking much of your time, let's dive into the today's session. And our honorable panelists will focus on the areas of how green building practices contribute to sustainable development, uh, demonstrating the success stories and the trends and challenges in implementing green concepts, the role of green professionals, as well as green building council's effort in supporting the transition towards a greener economy. Okay, so our first question is for our esteemed panel member, Engineer Mahendra Jayalath. So, as a global expert in sustainable construction practices, we would like to hear your insights on the trend towards green building practices, both locally and internationally. And how do you see the current landscape of sustainable construction practices globally? And what are some promising trends that you observe? And also, it's better if you can add, in the context of Sri Lanka, what are the challenges you have observed in implementing green concepts in the construction industry, as well as what are the key hurdles that need to be addressed and what strategies can be adopted to overcome them? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Upeksha. Let me just take you through the concepts. Now, the green building concept is really something not new for the world. It has been there for a long, long period. And before I start, I must mention very clearly, the very first green building certification was introduced to the world by the United States Green Building Council, which is called USGBC. Now, the other systems like the Sri Lankan green building certification system, Indian system, all those other certification mechanisms are have come up from the original green building United States Green Building Council certification. Now, I'm very proud to say that the very first green building out of the United States came from Sri Lanka. Now, you would like to see, if I mention, you will be not surprised. That is Kandalama Hotel, Heritage Kandalam. It was a masterpiece of architect Jeffrey Bawa, and it was the very first green building, certified green building under the United States Green Building Council certification. I don't know whether what year was that. I think probably in the latter part of 1980s or early part of 1990s. So with that history, long history, we have come a long way, but we have not done much thereafter. So there are various reasons. Now, if I go back to the international scenario, the reason for green building certification and green buildings, of course, we all know why we do green buildings. Of course, there are three, as far as I'm concerned, there are three major reasons for doing a green building. One is your economic benefits. That is, any green building should be cheaper to operate. That is very energy-wise, it will be lower. Water-wise, it will be lower. So those are utility costs will go up, go down as much as 30 to 40%. I will also show you some of the actual case studies from Sri Lanka, that you will get some idea of the impact of that. So anybody who is trying to do a green building would not only like to reduce cost in the construction, but also would like to see the operating cost, because the operating is going to remain as it is during the entire life of the building. So that is extremely important. Then number two important fact is that it's proven with certain measurements, and in fact statistics are available on websites, that any occupant in a green building will be working under a better indoor environment. So that better environment can lead to one thing, higher productivity, better health, etc. So in a sort of a company, if you have in a building, if you have a lot of workers working, you will see amazing improvement in their productivity, because it creates, the engineering designs will create an atmosphere where the workers will be, health will be safeguarded. Now, this is particularly true when you go for when you consider an apparel factory where there are so many girls working close to each other. And a common issue which has been there in Sri Lanka in the apparel sector is that one girl in the production line will carry a cold or and then come to work. Then you will find the next day that entire row is not reporting to work. So that's the typical environmentally not friendly building. So all those are addressed. So that's a very, very important thing as far as both productivity, and as a result of improved productivity, your final output is going to be significantly higher than a normal building. Then the third one, which is also important, is that internationally, how it came about is that people can make green buildings. It's very, now supposing if you take a guide, you can download many guides. You can download the Sri Lankan green building concept, US green building concept, all those things, and it gives A to Z what to do. Now, it's very easy to do this. It's very easy to do this, the basis to construct. But basically, why do we go for certification? Because we are doing now, supposing if I am doing my building, constructing according to the guidelines of the Green Building Code, I can always do that without certification. Certification is importance of certification is third party saying that my building is green. So that is what is important. So it is not I am saying or my consultant saying, not my project team, but it's somebody completely outside who has nothing to do with the project is coming and saying that, looking at the submissions. So that adds a lot of credibility to that company, to that building. And generally internationally, now, for example, if it is office complex, it will fetch higher rent, and they will have people would like to go there because of all those. So fundamentally, important three facts contributed largely to the huge influx of this complex the concept of green building. Now, so there are incentives. I mean, there are so many other incentives we are talking about. We will create least impact to the surrounding environment, all that. But these the three important measures I mentioned, significant issues, are the most important things as far as I'm concerned. Now, if you get a typical slide, you will find 5 or 6 reasons why you want to do that. Now, when you come to the local scene, that's also true. Now, for example, if you ask why they did Kandalama in 1990 when nobody knew what's a green building, because that was a unique construction. That was a unique building, and it has won so many awards. So they thought that they should also project the green image for that building. So that is what is there. Now, the trend for Sri Lanka also will be fundamentally important thing is that cost of operating got to be cheaper, because now currently if you take the current scenario, our electricity prices have skyrocketed. There is about 120% increase within the last year, right? And then we have fuel which has gone up to different types of fuel. So have gone up by also about 100%. So these are not going to go down. These are not going to go down at all. So they will, now it will reflect actual price of production. So there is, but unfortunately what has happened is in the recent past, our currency also had depreciated. So the thing is, the return on investment of any improvements that we do not fully realized because the current. So supposing now if you want a, I will try to make it as simple as possible. If you want to make a efficient light, import a efficient light bulb or something like that. So again, that importation cost also has gone. So, but still the savings are, the reduction in operating costs is much higher. So there's always incentives for the local industry to do that. Now then also the other important thing is they would also like, everybody would like to know. Now, for example, if I just mention a couple of names, companies like the big blue chip companies, John Keells, Akin Spence, Haley's, then all those people, they have standardized green building concept requirements embedded in it. So whatever now, for example, whatever the John Keells do, that they will have a certification. That is, certification is a must for that company. So that is a certain requirement in that blue chip company. It's a policy. So why are they doing? They are trying to say that we are a company, we are a group that is concerned about, forget the benefit that they get. We are concerned about the environment. So we not only develop our infrastructure, but we also go look at sustainable development of infrastructure as we move forward. So that is extremely important. So basically, the trends are similar. Now, for example, if I tell you this thing, now we had a green building before any Asian country or anyone outside the US. But now if you take the scenario, any large building in India, it's a green building. Any large building. It will be a commercial building, it will be an industry, anything. So you won't get anything. Of course, it can be the US green building certification. India also has their own Indian green building certification, just like we have it. They are almost, every sense they are similar. Certain certifications are modified to suit the country. So this is very clear. And the other part, China is also, I think they say that by year 2025, India will have more green buildings than the United States. So currently in Sri Lanka, the main blue chip companies are looking at certification of the new infrastructure. Then the banks are going in a which way. All HSBC banks buildings are new construction. If they are old construction, it will be green. They will be green. Then apparel sector, mostly almost all the leading players are going it, because all these people are looking at two things, or the three things I discussed about it. Then the certain things that we will discuss now, for example, people like, and the apparel sector, the giants, MAS, Brandex, Star Garments, all those are standard procedure to do. So basically, some of these things can be highlighted now. The slide that you can see now is Brandex casual wear plant in Sidhu. This became the world first platinum project, platinum green building in the world. This was done in 2004. That is that. So you can see the actual. Now this is an old building which was completely renovated, and from the old time to the new updated version, we'll have 55% reduction in the energy cost. Significant saving in energy cost bill. I was also trying to mention one thing which is out of records, but when this project was done, the utility supplying this factory, supplying electricity to this factory, thought that there was something wrong with the electricity meter. All the people, the people who worked on this project have fiddled with it, and they removed the meters and took it to the lab, got it done at the lab, tested at the lab, and they found out that the 55% away, and that is also highlighted by the utility as a success story. So there are other things like 70% water reduction. You would know that water charges has already gone up, and it's going up again. So this is something like that, something. If you show the next slide, picture. This is, as I told you, Hatton National Bank, HSBC, Standard Charter, all those commercial bank has not got. And Bank of Ceylon is doing a lot of work with the Sri Lankan Green Building Council, and they have intention of moving to many branches, or almost all the branches will get some sort of certification in time to come. So this is Hatton National Bank, Nittambu. Again, these are measured facts. How we do that? Next one. Next slide, please. Upeksha. Now, this is also a unique project. This is the first expressway service station to be certified as green. So Southern Expressway, the two service stations are also certified green. That was also sometime in, I think, 2004. These are very, very old. You can see the statistic there. Next one. Now this is what is called HSBC Bank down Union Place. Again, it's both a GBCS certified and a USD Green Building Council LEED certified. So you can see the figures. The important thing is those, the 42% energy saving and 50% water saving, a tremendous improvement on the, when you compare with a normal building. Next one. Upeksha? Yeah, I think those are the four things. So I talked about international scenario. I talked about what are the things. Now we talk about what are the other things, Upeksha, I have to talk about it on this subject?
Yes, sir. Please.
Yes. Yes. The hurdles, that is very important. Now, basically, we have been talking about it. We have been talking about it for a long time within the council, within the at board meetings. Do you think that our progress is satisfactory? As far as I'm concerned, no, it's not satisfactory. I think the basic issue is here when we go the way that we sell a product to a client, to a developer. Now you will go and ask a client, okay, you are building a building. Why not you make it a green building and get a certification? So the first question he will ask is, how much is going to cost me? So he said, okay, there's an obviously the green building construction cost will be more. Now, if you ask me how much more from a base building, there are different levels. You could say silver is about 2% incremental cost in the construction. Gold is about 10% increment. Of course, platinum is expensive. It's about 30% increment. So immediately when you give the figure to a developer, he takes a foot back because the cost. We all know it's we would also all like to develop something at the least possible cost. Of course, yes, it is also. So even when you are developing a green building, you should look at the least possible cost, not the highest level of certification. Highest level of certification is a secondary thing. So what is the best product I can offer my client? So that is what is important. So unfortunately, we are marketing something which does not, for a developer who's going to finally invest, has no idea what the green building is, what are the benefits, and anyway, if it is so, he's not convinced. Now, for example, even with the energy audits, now there are so many auditors in Sri Lanka, people go and do audits, and then they come up with figures saying that you do this, invest so much, you will have a saving. But really, we have not been able to break that problem of convincing the client beyond reasonable doubt that it's going to work this thing. There's various reasons are there, because thing is we have not highlighted actual case studies. Actual case studies should be presented by not by the consultant, but actual developers. You know, okay, I developed it and this is the benefit I got. That's what is important. So this is the biggest problem I have, biggest problem we have in Sri Lanka. Now, the other ones are access to equipment. Now, we have the key challenge in providing, of course, at the current scenario is the entire country is going through a bad patch. So therefore, the equipment not available as we like. But however, there is the sort of a gap in the information that, okay, I am willing to go for an incubator. So how do I get it? And what are the things I should get it? And then as consultants, normally you should not tell, okay, you buy a Daikin air conditioner, you buy something else, Philip bulb. That is bad practice. So you should give, okay, these are the the products that you want. These are the different brands available at the market. So that particular area is also weak. Now that's why the Green Building Council has started labeling products. Now there's a separate specification. We are trying our level best. If you want paint, what is the paint that you apply? So we should say that, okay, there is a paint that is certified by the Green Building Council, or they have got a label, and that's also available. Not every product is available on this thing, and all not every product is certified by the Green Building. So there is an issue. Now, this issue is not only prevailing in Sri Lanka, but it's also prevailing in neighboring countries like Bangladesh. Bangladesh has got about, I think, about at least 10 to 15% more green buildings than Sri Lanka, and it's a huge market there. So, but still there is this issue: how do I buy? Where do I buy it? Is it available locally? And so forth. So that has to be added. Of course, we have addressed in Sri Lanka up to a certain extent, but the product suppliers also must come and say that, okay, this is what is this doing that meets the guideline. Therefore, I would like a certification. So that's what is important. So not many of them come. So again, in that scenario, developing the certifications of products has to be promoted. And of course, the Green Building Council had this idea of having an exhibition in latter part of last year. But unfortunately, with all this COVID and economic downturn, it had to be postponed indefinitely. So that's what is important. So we need to market the product not as green. We must market the product. It has a third-party certification. Why the third-party certification is important? He said that, okay, we are not saying that your building is green, but it's somebody else, an international body or an independent body is saying that your building is green based on this certification. So that's important. Then you must help the developer to understand what are the figures. So like, for example, like some of these slides I showed, they are freely available. They are our clients are very happy if we share with it. And so you can say, you can talk to Brandex, you can talk to Head National Bank, you can talk to HSBC and see, have they benefited? That's what is it. Then they get an idea. So the other thing is, my personal view is that, of course, doing a green building, it's not extremely simple. It's not like just doing this construction. And there is a lot of work because certain things have to be monitored, everything. So it has to come from the top. The initiative must come from the top, because if you try to convince the lower levels and take the message up, you have very little success. So if you are making a presentation to someone, it has to be the CEO or the managing director or the chairman say that, okay, this is the concept, this is what you should do, and the instructions should flow down. So then the systems will flow. So that's, I think, Upeksha, I think I have covered these things. I think somebody has a, do you want me to take that question?
Yes, sir. I think at the later part, let's allow them to answer, sir. I think it's better with the time. But if you can quickly give an answer, that's fine, sir. And
Yes, I think the question regard to demolition waste and recycling in Sri Lanka, yes, it's an extremely important thing. Extremely important thing. Now uh, uh, there are some positive movements happening. For example, we have a brick made out of recycled material, and there are various things. Now, for example, most of the steel that we use for construction is recycled. But again, here there's a lot that we can do, because we don't look at the waste as waste, but there's so much that you can do, because the idea is, we know we should not go and fill the landfills first, just to get rid of the waste. Okay, I hope I have answered his question.
Yeah, I think so, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, we are really grateful to have you here with us today to share your valuable experience with us. I think the audience got so much of idea about what green buildings are and what are the key hurdles that we have to address, and the challenges that you have observed, and your suggestions to overcome those issues. So I think it's a really important discussion. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, then let's move on to the second question. That's for our next Nobel panelist, Engineer Mangala Silva. Yes, green building practices have potential to greatly contribute to sustainable development in Sri Lanka. So as an expert in the field, could you share some success stories of green building projects of Sri Lanka that have successfully integrated sustainable practices, and how have these projects positively impacted on the environment, society, and economy? And what lessons can be learned from these success stories, and what are the locally experienced challenges, and what do you suggest as the role of Green Building Council of Sri Lanka to overcome those? So we are excited to hear from you and gain valuable insights from your wealth of experience. Over to you, sir.
Yes, Rika, I thought of answering to your first part of the question by sharing few slides which explain about 3 successful stories. Basically, I'm going to talk about the building projects. I hope
Yes.
actually this is the first Bank of Ceylon building that received this green rating. Of course, I hope you can very clearly see, although I'm not telling anything, you can see the situation before the building converted into green. Actually, this is a gold-plated green building. This is in the middle of Kakirawa town. You can see, I mean, it's basically a retrofitting of a building that if I say it's an existing building, we did some rectification works and we converted it into a green building. In this particular project, by changing the electrical system and the fittings, we could save the 25% power demand. Also, that we did actually, we have used solar panels, and using the solar panels, we could meet 83% of the power demand. And we measured the internal temperature of this building before converting into green and after adopting some green features. We clearly observed 3 centigrade degrees of reduction. And also, I mean, before do the rectification project, hardly experience any difference in this in the temperature outside the building and the road front. You can see there's a road front in this particular building, 2 sides allocated adjacent to roads. So hardly basically the temperature in the middle of the road is same as the temperature at the main entrance. But after doing all these features, we could reduce it to by 2 centigrades. Actually, as Engineer Mahendra said, the participants and the client should tell the real changes what they're experiencing. So this what BOC said, BOC management said after we did the rectification and the allocated accommodating green features, there's a significant improvement in their client base. And also most of the clients they used the branch, there was a significant increase. They are staying inside the building. There was an increment. So actually, this Green Building Council of Sri Lanka rated this building as a gold rated building. Now Bank of Ceylon is trying to go for a upgrading of the green rating to platinum, because I mean, with the experiencing lower level of CO2 level and all the performance levels, so they are planning to go for a platinum. So after that, you probably I mean the Upeksha may be able to tell how many branches they have converted into green after this project. Of course, I don't know the exact numbers, so probably at the end of this session you might be able to indicate. So that's about the BOC project. I think you can go to the next slide as well. This is again another some techniques that we have used to reduce the inside the temperature. You can see these green walls and some green grass patches. Also, you can see this the internal pictures of this building is currently running with most of the time this building is I mean the can manage with daylights and the natural lights. Okay, I hope that's about the Bank of Ceylon. This is next on yes, that's the first green building project for a school in Sri Lanka. This is in Holy Family Convent Bambalapitiya, not Bambalapitiya, Holy Family Convent Kalutara. Actually in this project, what we did actually 150% of the power demand met with solar power. Actually, you might think what is 150%. Basically, once you install this solar panel system, we observed that we can give power to some other buildings as well. So and so there's a significant reduction in their power bill. And also we observed 2%, I mean 2 degrees of centigrade reduction inside the building compared to the other school buildings. I mean, in this particular school, there are so many other building blocks. We observed 2 centigrade reduction inside the building compared to other buildings. Also, we converted this building facade into complete green. Greenery is actually, we created this facade with natural plants. And of course, this is at the very big right now. If you're there, you can see so many plants. And also, we made the complete water demand without making any disturbance to NWSTB, that is National Board. Actually, we had a challenge when we are doing this particular building, because this school is about 80 years old school. There were some buildings which is 100 years old. So we had the great challenge of matching this building with this old building. So, but still we managed to reproduce completely this old buildings facades to this particular building. Of course, you can see some how we did this rainwater harvesting in particular slide. Can you go to the next slide? This is again, I think there are some questions about this, how they really feel inside a green building. Most of these teachers and the management said these students are willing to happily study in this particular building compared to other things, right? And you can see we have used a lot of green patches in this area, and also we use some light fittings to reduce light pollution, like that. and we reduced 40% of the CO carbon dioxide level inside the classrooms of this particular building compared to the other classroom blocks. And also the problem of selecting VOC-free paints for this for the desk and chairs and other things. For that time, University of Moderator supported us by creating. They actually manufactured VOC-free paints. So, of course, segment of this Holy Family Convent, Kalutara, they gave us a very good. From their side, they are really happy, and as a result of that, now Holy Family Convent, Mangala Silva also planning to convert their old building to green building projects. Okay, next one is a project of Colombo Municipal Council. This is the first building for the Colombo Municipal Council with go ahead and building. In this particular building, we forecast the demand with solar panels, and also we used to extend the water demand reduction. Of course, you know, this type of public buildings, it is very difficult to reduce the water demand, but we did that one. And so this 100% of this building spaces running with natural lights. In particular, especially this completely connected with solar panels. There is any other covering material. The solar is used as the covering material as the methods to develop solar energy. So that's the stories. I would say successful. So yeah, can you share? Yes. If I say about this lessons learned, first one, I would say if a green associate professional law accredited professional can clearly convey the importance of going for green, definitely clients will go for green. That is my experience. Then the second one, definitely clients will be happy when the buildings are functioning. Sometimes at the very beginning, they might think that, of course, we did some extra capital investment, but after 1 or 2 months, they are really happy when they are experiencing lower amount of utility bills compared to other buildings. And also, with my experience, if there are some clients, those who are willing to construct a lot of buildings, I mean, if you can convince to go for their first building as a green building, definitely they will adopt it for second building and third building, so on. Next slide, please. You asked about these challenges and role of DBCSL to overcome them. First one, I would say in the feats of the green building is a challenging task. Of course, although the accredited professionals or associate professionals can do it, if the DBCSL management also can support them by having some meetings or workshops, it will be really great. Because I can remember when I'm trying to convince this first, the second project, which I have explained, that is Holy Family Convent Kalutara, Green Building Council director board at that time, they visited the place and they discussed with the management. So that day, GBCSL supported a lot initially, about many years before. And the second one, of course, this accommodating additional cost will be an issue. As Engineer Mahendra said, we all know that initially capital, there's an increment in capital investment if you are going for green, but definitely they will be happy when they are running with the building. So it is good if the GBCSL can convince the decision makers in that context. I would say that if the Green Building Council can do some research work on different categories of buildings about the increment of the capital cost as well as reduction in maintenance cost, it will be very good. If you can maintain a database, that will be really important to the decision makers. I hope I answered to your questions, Upeksha.
Yes, yeah, it's really important. It was, and thank you for the suggestions for the Green Building Council. And And as you mentioned, we are having meetings at the starting of the each project to convince them we have started that to convince the benefits and all. Thank you so much. And it was a really interactive and important session. Okay. So let's, before moving into the next part, I would like to share some overview about Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. So give me a minute, second. Okay.
There are also some comments, Upeksha. If you
Yes.
want to answer them.
So we have arranged, we have allocated the time for the Q&A session. So I think it's yeah.
Better to take it later.
Okay. I hope you can see my screen. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give a brief introduction about the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka and our services, the services that you can get from us. So as we, at the starting of the session, as we mentioned, we are transitioning towards the green economy. So because the green economy promotes sustainable development, while green skills, that means the skills with the green ability, support the transition through knowledge, abilities, and innovation in various industries and sectors. So I'll show you this report, the Global Green Skill Report published by the LinkedIn graph. The world has not enough green talents, skills, or jobs to make this transition fully to a green world yet. So advocacy and the adoption is observed as critical. So not all jobs of the future may need 100% of green, but they should skew as much as possible in that direction. So there are green skills that can be adapted to make an existing jobs also more sustainable. For an example, it could be a fashion manufacturer sourcing more eco-friendly products, and it could be a fleet manager and leveraging hybrid or fully electric vehicles, or a sales representative creating reducing their travel footprint by leveraging remote sellings. So likewise, we can transit the existing jobs to a green. But as well as according to the LinkedIn report, the green skilled workers were hired at a faster rate than non-green workers over the past 5 years. So there's a growing trend towards hiring with green skills. And also in the same report, it highlights that the roles that barely existed a decade ago, now they are the fastest growing green jobs globally, like sustainability manager, solar consultant, wind turbine technician, and all, and like compliance manager, construction manager. Those are the greening jobs. But still, the volume of workers moving into green and greening jobs is still too low. And also, there are so many barriers to green transition region-wise. When we consider it region-wise, we identify that the lack of trained educated green building professionals is observed in the South Asian countries. So as Green Building Council, a responsible organization who is actively involved in achieving climate related targets, we are continuously promoting green education because we can't do this transition alone. So we, Green Building Council, do these types of services. We provide green building certification, green product labeling. Then we train professionals through our education and training programs. Then we conduct research activities, volunteering activities, in-house trainings, and we recognize and we celebrate this green transition at the end of each year through annual Green Building Award ceremony. And now we have trained over 1,800 green professionals, the associate professionals, and out of them, 105 are green accredited professionals, and we have rated over 7 million square feet of built area and have rated 49 green building products. And when we move on to the education and training aspect, we guide the professionals to make this transition by improving their green literacy through our educational program, and we provide internationally recognized certificates for them. And when we talk about the Green SL accreditation pathway, it's like a 6-step process, but there are so many things you have to gain, and each activity will gain you, you can collect points. So the initial step will be completing the associate professional training program, and then with the eligibility and those who are interested in going towards the accreditation, they can get enlisted, and then after completing the advanced training program, they can get enlisted for they can get involved in the green rating projects to get some practical exposure. And throughout this process, they can engage with the CPD programs that like webinars, short courses, workshops, and etc. They can get knowledge through our CPD programs. And each event is allocated with certain points. And after completing 60 points, they can apply for the accreditation. Through a Viva, we are selecting the more suitable professionals to be accredited as green accredited professionals. So as I mentioned, the first program is the initial step of joining with Green Building Council of Sri Lanka is completing the associate professional training program. And the property industry professionals like architects, engineers, town planners, quantity surveyors, and facility managers, like anyone, any professional with any graduate professional can join with this program. And we cover vast area of sustainability related topics throughout our program, and with the reputed pool of resource persons in different related areas. And these are few captures during our sessions, the Associate Professional Training Program. And in this, the next program will be conducted online so that we can to accommodate the professionals in the distant areas. And there are exams, site visits, and group projects. And most importantly, even if we say the physical session, if it's even if it's a 4-day program, after completing that, they are competent enough to design a green building project, and they grab so many things to complete this project, complete a green project. And then these are few captures of the workshops, then advanced professional training program, and we conduct short courses online and green talks, webinars. Each month we have a green talk and webinars also. We are continuously having webinars and these type of discussions. And I'll show you a few upcoming events. This is the Associate Professional Training Program, the next intake, and which will be held online. Starting in the 29th April in this month. And this online program will be 15 consecutive, will be held like 15 consecutive Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Anyway, the first day, it will be a full day session. And for any inquiry, you can contact this email address or these numbers. And we will share this, the details with you. And there's another upcoming event, the 1-day workshop, but it's a physical session held into same day, 29th April. It's on ensure environmental sustainability through green building practices. And there's another upcoming event which will be held in 12th and 13th May. It's a workshop on the organizational carbon footprint calculation. So it will be really important, and I would like to invite you all to join with those events. And let's move on to the green building projects, the building certifications. And it's identified as the ideal tool for validating sustainability claims of the building are the green rating systems. And in Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, we have developed our own rating systems for new constructions, existing buildings, sustainable cities. Then for the rental facilities, again, institutional sustainability. And we are working on, we are almost completed two other rating systems as well for green schools and net zero carbon buildings. So this one, you can see we, sorry. There are 4 certification levels, which are covering 8 categories: management, sustainable sites, water efficiency, energy and atmosphere, materials, resources and waste management, indoor environmental quality, innovation, and social aspect. So these are few examples of rated buildings. And in the video, you can see Clear Point Residences Rajagiriya. I think this is the highest rated building right now. And we certify building products as well through our, again, our own rating systems. And talking about the other environmental programs, we conduct beach cleanups, then green walks, tree planting programs, then art competitions for students, for undergraduates, and for everyone, we are conducting different events time to time. And research and development activities, we are doing a lot of research regarding relevant to the sustainability. And this is these are few captures of the recently completed project Haritha Diriya, that was for the SME sector. That's an Australian aid funded project. And as I mentioned earlier, we celebrate this transition towards the green economy through our annual Green Building Awards ceremony. And we, you can see a few captures taken during this event. This is the last event. As well as there's another network, the alumni of certified green professionals, and those who engage with Green Building Council after completing the associate professional training program, then they can join with the alumni network as well. So finally, if I say in brief, what are the things or activities that you can be involved as green professionals? I mean, after completing the associate professional training program, and when we are going through our accreditation process, you can definitely you can be a part of conveying this message to general public, and you can involve as consultants. Then you can involve in research activities. Then suitable professionals will be involved as independent building evaluators, then resource persons, and you can involve as education program development, policy development, and also for the other volunteering activities also you can join as green professionals. And then our corporate organization wise, you can join as corporate members, platinum, gold, and silver graded. And these are the corporate members that we are working with right now. So come join us and become a green professional. And for the upcoming events and the educational programs, so you can stay tuned with by following up with our social media network. Okay, so with that, let's move on to the second round. And the third question, this will goes to Engineer Mahendra Jayalath. Sir, we would love to hear your insights on how Green Building Council of Sri Lanka has been instrumental in advancing green education among industry professionals. Especially, the audience will like to know about the potential benefits of educational programs offered by GBCSL, and who can become green professionals, and what are the different types of roles that they can play in promoting sustainable construction practices. And as well as, since you are working with many professionals in the industry, we would appreciate it if you can share with us some key insights on the educational programs as well. So over to you, sir.
Yeah, let me. I think this is a very very vital area. I think most of the people who like to become green professional do not have a clear idea of how we approach it. Now, can I very clearly say, very simple terms, how it works? Now, as far as the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka is concerned, and also that applies to all the most of the other and leading international certification bodies, there are two levels of green specialist. Now, first one is called Green Associate. That's the very first, and that's what is called the very basic one. And the other one is the Green Accredited Professional. Let me tell you now, if you just take the guide, the new construction, if you download the new construction guide 2.1 version, these roles are very clearly mentioned in that, because now, if I want to let's go through the first one. Now you will ask, what are the duties or anticipated duties of an associate professional? That is the first level. Now, it is basically what we expect in an organization. You are already employed, or you are getting into employment, and you are a full-time employee of that organization. So it's always nice to have to become an associate professional. Associate professional is main responsibility the promotion of green concept and certification. Let me see now. Basically, you have to understand now. If I go back again one step back, some people have the misconception that these certifications are open to engineers. It's not. In worldwide, it is not. So anybody with a basic degree, it can be an architect, can be a civil engineer, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, then chemical engineer, then environmentalist. All those people can come. There is nothing, because in the first associate professional course, we would like to teach, or the Green Building Council would like to give you the basic concepts of green. So what is in this book, the guideline, what is good? We don't know. For example, we do not expect you to go into a design of an air conditioner. We don't expect you to do a design of an electrical installation. But you should know, in designing, these are the numbers, these are the guidelines which is mentioned in the book, that your friend or your hired consultant should do for you. Not, you should not be doing that. So that is the basic level. So you should understand there are 7 parts of the certification. What are the 7 parts? Have a broad understanding of what those mean, what those items are, have the meaning of those things, and like that. So basically, you must have a rough idea of the concept, so that you can go and tell a developer, this is what is green, this is what you have to do. So that's mostly important. So we have handled 2 items. That is, what are the qualifications that you need to join? And now, with organization which I'm running, we have about 25 consultants. If I have an option of hiring another consultant, I will certainly hire someone who is with some sort of green certification in addition to basic. So most of the engineers who are now qualifying, coming out of the university, and this is a very short course, you go through the 2 weeks of that, you do the and then you get a credential saying that you are also this thing. So whenever, now very recently, I would like to share a case study with the lady which has come from IIT in Bangkok after her master's, and the husband is working for us. So she was asking me to get a job for her, and she got employed just because she had this particular qualification, not because of her MSc at IIT, but just because she had this green building SL associate professional attached to her qualification. So all those things. Now, as far as I see it, I see a lot of engineering students coming out, and I go to Peradeniya University and some of the universities for professional, what do you call, professional development after graduations. But I see a lot of people are trying to do ICMA and things like that. Those are long courses. Masters you can do. Once you get employed, you are working as an engineer. This is a very short course. So basically, this is stepping in stone for the basic. Now, so that's the start, and then you go in on the basic program. So basically, we do not expect an associate professional to design in detail the systems of a green building. But he or she should understand what are the systems required for a certification. That's very, very important. That's whether it's a green SL, whether it's USGBC, IGBC, all those things are given. So that's in every certification, green mark, all those systems internationally and locally is based on that. So it's very, very important. So at the end of the course, you will of course get certain, you will be identified as a green SL associate. And then what is happening is you can do something actual, get involved in it. What do you call, if you are in a project, in a company, you'll have to submit certain reports to these things. So all those will add to your knowledge after becoming associate. So associate is a very, very preliminary level. And then from that, you can graduate later. Whether you may be an engineer, you may be a sociologist, you may be a what you call economist, doing something else, but your interest is there. So therefore, you can come into that. So please don't get the wrong intention that this is only open for engineers. Worldwide, it is. If you statistically, if you go to the US, there are more green building associates are not engineers. They are non-engineers, economists, all those things. You know, in the US and all, you don't follow your basic degree line, they won't go. So what they want is a mix of everything. You see, so if you do engineering, you do economics or something like that. So basically, you will find. And I personally know international consultants, most of them have no engineering background, but they're experts in green building. So that's what is very, very, very important. So basically, if you take the guide, it will very clearly say where and when the associate should come in when developing a project. So it's very, very clear said. So he's a part of a job, he's doing something, or he's getting employed somewhere, he's doing his activities, but as a result of interest generated, he has done this course, so he's an associate professor. So it's added qualification. So basically within that course, the concept promotion is the main thing. Now we go to the next one, which is accredited professional. Now it is a higher level. We are going into more detail. We talked about detailed designs, all that, but still, I personally feel that they are in a team. When you are developing a green building, you cannot have one man running the show. You will have so many people running it. That you will have an air conditioning guy, you will have an electrical specialist, you will have a fire guy, and the green accredited professional will be one of them. So, but you will be able to go into greater detail on the design aspects. That once they do the air conditioning man, you check, you ask these questions. Have you done to this standard? What are the levels of that? So it's a more in-depth knowledge carrying exercise that. So that's why we have over 1,000 odd and accredited professional. And also you need to do certain courses, certain projects to be a part of it. So that accredited professional should not be a person who's working for it. He can be a consultant, like Mangala, like my profession. I'm a consultant. I'm not working for anyone, but I develop project. But it's compulsory to have an accredited professional on any GBSL project when you're going for certification. So it's not a trade-off point, but it's a mandatory prerequisite that you need to have. So when you develop it, when you want to develop it, like if you become an associate, you are developing a project, you need to get an accredited professional also, because it's a requirement. then you have to contact the Green Building Council and ask a couple of names and then negotiate with them. And so the accredited professional will map out the project right from zero. So basically, I don't know, I may not have time to go through it, but this generally we cover these details in our associate course. So even the architectural features and aspects and also the layout has to be checked by the accredited professional. So that is what is it. So associate and accredited professional, I hope it's very clear for you all. So once you have an associate, once you become an associate, you can go to the next step of becoming an accredited professional. Now, it is the intention of the board, once you go, like in the other certifications, these accredited professionals cannot have a lifetime certification. They also must improve their knowledge. Now we are looking at it, we are discussing how they should renew their certificate. How they should renew their certificate, because technology is changing. You see, it's like basically like a doctor. If you are a doctor, you are a specialist. You can't say, okay, I did something, because tomorrow, if it is a heart specialist, the bypass operation techniques will be different tomorrow. So I should be up with this technology. Exactly like the similar way, green building is technology. Now, no certification is thereafter is going to be continuous period. Every 3 years, we will have to ask you to submit certain things and upgrade your credentials. So that's what is important. So I hope this is very clear. Those are in a nutshell. If I read it back again, if I say you need to have a basic degree of any discipline to become an associate, to do the associate course. That's the starting point. And anybody can pick up. It's not rocket science, because you are not going to what you call do into details, detailed designs. You are not going to follow the wiring regulation. You are not going to find do air conditioning, ashtray, whatever the guidelines. You see. So, but the important thing is you should know that is required. That is what is required. So after that, you go into more detailed design, involvement in the more detailed design in the accredited professional. So those are the two. So basically, in a general scenario, associate professional will be working somewhere. He has an added qualification and he is recognized by the company. If you are young engineers, if you go for a job, you will be going. The jobs are going to be hard. You are going to be there. You will have a distinct advantage over the others if you have this thing. Okay. More than your first class, second class, that is second. But a large company will always look at what are the added value that I can get from this person by hiring it. That's how I see it. I have been hiring so many people. That's my intention, and they do produce. So basically, on the other one, you are basically a consultant, or you can even be a this thing, but you get detailed involvement in the actual design of the project. As you design architectural, water features, landscape, these energy systems, all that you should be able to guide the other expert consultants in getting the project. So that is, I hope this is very clear. Then in addition to that, there's another post. If you very carefully go through the guide, especially the latest updated guide, which is a 2.1 version of the new building, there is an accredited auditor, energy auditor. Now, accredited energy auditor is not given certification given by the Green Building Council as well. It's given by the Sri Lanka's Sustainable Energy Authority. Every year they have this thing. They conduct training and then they ask you to perform some things, audits and this and that. So you can. He or she in that auditor has a role in the certification, but that's not, I'm not going to cover that, because it is basically the auditor's duties in energy auditor to monitor energy consumption. Now, Mangala said something with a very valid point. How do we, we always say, okay, I'm doing this building, Just like I showed you the couple of case studies, 50%. Now, it is extremely important to monitor consumption after the building is completed, after the building is certified. I said 50% is going to be saved. Is it really saving 50%? That is what is really required. So there are monitoring systems in the standards, and GBCSL would like to project developers to send these readings at a regular interval to Green Building Council. So that submission monitoring of that has to be done by a certified energy auditor, which is not done by the certification done by this thing, but it's done by the government body of Sustainable Energy Authority. So these are the two roles, but the Green Building SL is responsible to very clear category. So what my suggestion is that all the graduates who are coming out looking at sustainability is the in thing. There's not going to be fade away, but there will be always changes coming. Improvements, additions. We are coming with green cities, green transport, all those things. So every aspect of it, starting point is associated. So that is what is important.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your valuable inputs.
Covered everything. Right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. You clearly demonstrated what are the two, the difference of the two roles, the green associate professional and green accredited professional. So not only engineers, every professional can engage with us. So with that, thank you very much, sir. So next we'll move on to the final question. That's for Engineer Mangala Silva. Okay, so I'm sure the audience is waiting to hear your thoughts on how industry professional can actually engage with Green Building Council, especially through our educational programs, certification schemes, and networking events. So it's just kind of a addition to what Engineer Mahendra Jayalath said. So over to you, sir.
Upeksha, actually, we discussed a lot about AP courses and accredited professional courses, but I think we must mention here about our one-day programs, especially we are planning to have this carbon footprint program. That would be a very important session, I believe. Those who anyone who is interested on that type of thing, because it's we all know that the worldwide there's a real demand for this carbon footprint calculation work, so they can join with Green Building Council as well with that particular one-day courses. And also most of the time people think that the green building is only for this new buildings. Actually, it is not really like that, because as I mentioned in my first example, there are means to use these green elements and get it ready, rated some existing buildings. We have a separate guideline. Also, not only for the buildings, actually, we are already, I would say, issued a certification system for these green townships where these people can specially for a lot of housing projects where about 300, 400, and 600 houses are coming, some apartments, because we all know this, especially these days, a lot of UDA projects are going on, so that they can use this our township rating system tool also. And in addition to that, we have Green Alumni Association, where these people, most of the associate professionals can join with us. And also, although you are not associate professional or accredited professional, anyone who is interested on doing research works, of course, they can come up with their own proposals with us. You know that about a few years before we started some green projects regarding, some research work on this Polonnaruwa ancient hospital project. Likewise, we are doing so many things, and also now we are doing a project related to recycle. There's a lightweight concrete slab materials and how these temperatures are. The reduce how to do the reduce temperatures. I do like that. There are so many research going. Anyone who is interested, actually they don't want to be engineers, they don't want to be architects, they don't want to have our accredited professorship or the associate professorship. If they are really interested on doing any research or any study related to green work, of course they can talk to Green Building Council or any accredited professional, I think that they can join with us. And more than everything, generally we are having some green walks and other that type of networking events. You are quite welcome to join with us. Right? I think I answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much. And being with us from the day one, it's really important to give you insights about us, how to engage with us. Okay, so with that, we have come to the final session. That's Q&A. So starting the Q&A session, I would like to invite some of our accredited professionals, associate professionals, those who have gone through our process, and those who have again accreditation and completed associate professional. So yeah, I can see here to raise hands. So first, yes, Engineer Sudarshan, you can give us your review about us. And
Okay,
I must say, yeah, I must say he was honored with the honorary mention of the outstanding green professional last year also. So over to you.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Upeksha, for giving me the opportunity. So first of all, I done my APT or Associated Professional Training in 2020 and completed my advance on 2021 and then my training for 1 year in 2022. Finally got my accredited professional status in 2022 December. So as of my experience with Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, there are so many experience which modify me to the next level of professionalism, even though I'm a chartered engineer, but it gives me a broad opportunities to modify myself into the climbing up to the ladder in terms of sustainability. So one of the key benefit would be the membership with the Green Building Council Sri Lanka will provide the access to wealth information and knowledge, resources related to green and sustainable building practices. It can be included like CPD events, green talks, case studies, and best practice of green buildings design and construction, which we heard today, which we listened to these lectures. And next benefit would be from the Green Building Council Sri Lanka provides opportunities to network with other professionals in the field of sustainability, building designs and construction. And one of the most greatest advantages to GBSL offers a range of professional development opportunities, including training, certification program, workshop and seminars. And it will help it helped me a lot, and I turned these skills. I use this skill to betterment of my organization as well in terms of the sustainable building practices. And by becoming a member of Green Building Council Sri Lanka, we individual as well as the organization can demonstrate our commitment to the sustainability and green building practices, which I'm doing right now with engineering professional. And the GBSL being a leading advocate for sustainable building practice in Sri Lanka, and it can be a great platform to advocate for policies and initiatives that supports the sustainable building practices and to influence the directions of the industry in Sri Lanka. So in a nutshell, the green building, it's not all about the building, it's about the people and the society. When you practice green building practices, where the environmental will be protected, then the people will be happy and the economic will be bloom. So these three concepts are Green Building Council Sri Lanka is provided these three concepts, and it's a great platform for me to practice these practices. Finally, in my personal career or personal life, it has brought me the learning, which means the learning means bringing the permanent changes in my behavior in terms of the sustainability and green building concept. So I hope that everyone in this forum would enjoy the stay with Green Building Council Sri Lanka. And if we fail to protect this, if our generation is failed to protect this precious environment, then no one can protect this environment. So we will join together and work with Green Building Council Sri Lanka, and which will in return to protect our precious environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Upeksha.
Thank you, Engineer Sudarshan. Yes. Okay, so there's another, I can see a raised hand. Tivanka, Mr. Tivanka. Yes, Mr. Tivanka.
Yeah, thank you, Upeksha, for this opportunity. So actually, can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you
yes.
hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm from the 41st batch of associate professionals. My story is entirely different from most of your stories because I'm not an engineer. Because I think most of you feel like this course is for engineers, which is not, this is completely wrong. Because my background is environmental science, and also I'm a specialist in chemistry. And in my profession also, I'm working in a Netherlands company called EnergySolve, which makes standards, especially in chemical and water standard for textile and apparel industry. So I would say I'm a sustainability professional rather than an engineer. So you might ask me why I choose this course since my background is totally different. The reason I chose this course is, first thing, I mean, this is not totally about the green buildings. I mean, there are things we can learn from this course, which is, which is beneficial in implementing environmental sustainability practices. For an example, in this industry, in textile and apparel industry, we work with many engineers, local engineers, foreign engineers, all these things. But we are not engineers. But in that case, we need to have some sort of understanding, especially on the language they discuss about the some of these technical stuff related to energy, especially because what we see from our angle is we see only from the sustainability point of view, but sometimes we don't see from the technical point of view, the engineers, how they speak and what they think of that too. So there's a kind of a clear gap between this understanding between sustainability professionals and engineers. So I think this course is something which can bridge that gap to understand the language with these engineers speaking, not only in textile and apparel industry. I think it will be beneficial for all other industries as well, to bridge this gap on how we think as sustainability professionals and how these engineers think as their point of view. So I think that is a main kind of value I have gained to, engaging with this course. And also the other one, as this previous speaker mentioned, we are working or we are engaging with many professionals in the industry, not only engineers, because in my batch, I can remember there were some other professionals as well, such as, architectures were there, I would say landscaping people were there, agricultural graduates were there. So there's a vast kind of a professionals who are there, which we can take their ideas away. When we do these, the group projects and some of these activities related to this course, we get to know a kind of a better understanding about what each sector does in the case of environmental sustainability. So I would say this is something for all the professions who engage in environmental sustainability, not engineers, not sustainability, or the chemists like us, or not agriculturists. I think everyone who has kind of a job scope or kind of a professional scope in sustainability can engage with this course. And I think that is I would say the only course in Sri Lanka such as that which covers all these areas relevant to sustainability. Because if you take like any other courses, it's more kind of specific to a set of professionals or set of professions. But this course, it is not kind of specific. Whatever you do, whether your profession is engaged with sustainability, you can take this course. Because I professionally, it is kind of, I personally now experience what sort of knowledge or what sort of value I created by conducting or by engaging with this course, which has helped me, especially working in, this sort of industry, with working in different stakeholders. And also, I would like to, thank the Green Building Council for having this course and, to engage in many activities, which is not, only applicable for the engineers, but for all the professionals in the sustainability arena. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ivanka. That's really important. Those who are waiting to join with Green Building Council, your comments and your idea about our programs are maybe really important to them. Okay, so then
this one, I think Tivanka's comments are extremely valid. I think this is we should give more publicity for that, and let's discuss next week.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, definitely. Okay, then Ms. Kasoni Jayasekara. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. So
Yeah.
I'm Kasuni and I'm a civil engineer by profession. Currently, I work as a green consultant at Haritha Consultants Private Limited. So being a green professional has opened up many opportunities for me. When I was applying for a job, having a green qualification was one of the key factors in being selected for the role. So I handle green building projects in various building categories: office, hotels, high-rise buildings, factories, university buildings, mixed developments, etc. So we conduct sustainability assessments for the projects and ensure that we incorporate green features in our designs. So the knowledge and experience I gained from being involved in green projects have paved the way for my career in green building sector. So I was an associate professional of batch 23, and I must say that the Green Associate Professional course covers all aspects of green buildings. It is a very comprehensive and informative course that provides a lot of insights into green buildings. So I strongly believe that we should all be responsible for our actions. So whether you're an engineer, architect, or quantity surveyor, learning about green concepts and enhancing your knowledge is important for you to work responsibly and add value to your qualifications, enabling you to excel in the industry. So therefore, I invite everyone to join the course and get the best out of it to become a better version of yourself. As Upeksha mentioned earlier, once you qualify as a green professional, you could get the opportunity to join the alumni of Green Building Council of Sri Lanka and be introduced to like-minded professionals. I got the opportunity to meet green professionals in the industry and to implement sustainable projects and join the projects council conducts. So I take this opportunity to thank the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka for being the pioneer in introducing many green courses and projects. I look forward to giving my best and contributing to a greener, sustainable future. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Kasuni Jayasekara. And she's one of our awarded volunteer as well. And your cooperation will be really important to us, Green Building Council. Thank you so much. Okay, so then Mr. Kanishka. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Upeksha. Rather than a question, I would like to add a small thing to Mr. Mangala's case study session. Actually, in generally, we have general idea that is green. We have to invest more on green building rather than a conventional building. But I would like to mention, Mr. Mangala will also prove that if we use the technology with some alterations, we can do it with the optimum, even very low cost. For example, I was in the technical team in the BOC Kakira. We don't have used the BMS, but we still managed to get the some BMS functions through with alteration equipment such as some kind of sensors with some kind of alterations. That's what I want. That's what I want to mention here for the Mr. Mangala's case study. Thank you.
Yes, Upeksha, actually what he said is very correct, because I mean, it depends really on this green professionals. I would say it's basically their capability and their innovative approach. It's always not, I mean, the cost. Sometimes the people might think that it is very costly. Going for green, of course, we know that there will be a small cost increment, I mean, depending on the rating system that we are going, but of course, sometimes with a very small additional amount of money, we can achieve a lot of green points, as well as we can reduce the maintenance cost. So thank you very much, Kanishka, for your comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, accredited professional as well as representing one of our clients. Okay, so what else? Anything else? Anyone else who would like to talk with our experts?
Do you want to go through these questions?
Yes.
These comments?
Yes, sir.
Do that now because we are running short of time.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll get with the first question.
First
one
one we answered that, no? First one. Second one.
Yes, how the mental satisfaction different from green and non-green apartment dwellers?
No, I think there is one before that. May I know there is energy retrofitting practices
Yeah.
existing building? Yes, I think generally for operating buildings, GBCSL coming out with operation and maintenance guideline. I don't know, is it finished, completed now?
The existing one, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one is there, but the second one is still ongoing.
Second one revision is coming out.
Yeah.
But generally what you can also do is, generally what we do is you do an audit and find out what are the improvements that you categorize at a major renovation job. So major renovation job also will go as a similar to a new construction. So what you have to do is do a audit, not an energy audit, but a complete audit, and then find out, identify what are the improvements that you need to do. Now, generally what is happening is, this is important because when you are converting an existing building to a certified building, the owner will ask how much of money that I need to spend. But from the audit, you will be able to tell exactly how much money that you need to spend to convert that. So that is applicable in GBCSL, LEED, all those facilities are available, what is called a major rent. So once you do a major retrofit, it goes as a this thing. Or you can do with the O&M new system to come. So that's one question. The next one?
Yes, again, the how the mental satisfaction different from green and non-green apartment dwellers. I think that's
Any recommended research areas? That's the one, no? Construction industry. That's the one.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
also there, sir. Then I'll ask the next one. What are the trends in construction? It was answered. And any recommended research areas on circular economic practices in the construction industry in local context?
Well, there are many things on the internet that one can follow. There are many construction practices one should follow. I mean, I can't specifically say yes or no and exactly go to this one, but certainly there are many construction practices. Now, if you go to the exact thing, even with the material selection, site management, all those things do have a this say. But generally, this information is freely available on the net. Whatever the certification level, it is done there. These can be adopted.
Yeah.
Now, in certain countries, which we have just done a designed guideline, we give an attachment, annexure, giving these regulations so that they can follow as supporting material. I think that we should also follow that. So
Yes.
I think that question. Next one.
Yeah. Then how to convince landowners to do joint investment for green building initiatives when they are leased for a long run? I think that question, we have a separate rating system like the institutional sustainability, those who have the rented facility.
Yes, I think so. Okay.
Okay.
That's all.
That's all, sir. Okay. So if anyone else would ask questions, now is the chance. Otherwise, we can conclude today's discussion.
Okay.
Okay. Seems like no more questions. Okay, then this is the end of the a very interesting interactive session. So I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all our both our esteemed panel members, Engineer Mahendra Jayalath and Engineer Mangala Silva, for accepting our invitation and taking your valuable time to give us your experience as green professionals, and also the participants who have participated in the session throughout the session. Your active participation and engagement have truly made this event a success, especially those who have provided us with comments about Green Building Council of Sri Lanka and their journey. It's really important, and we are really thankful. And also we hope that these discussions and ideas shared today have inspired you to further explore and promote sustainable development in Sri Lanka through green building practices together with Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. And once again, thank you so much for our speakers, participants, and also the organizers from Green Building Council for your valuable contribution. So we look forward to continued support in our collective effort towards a more sustainable and inclusive future. So thank you so much. Have a good night. And also, I would like to invite you to fill out our feedback form so that we can provide our future events in a more successful manner. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.